Today we all wanted to kick into the long grass. Since the announcement, it's a day we've been dreading. Of course, we hoped today would have something riding on it too, but it wasn't to be. So the Reds now gather and ready themselves for an emotional salute to the boss as Anfield awaits Jürgen Klopp for the final time as Liverpool manager. And even that is tough, and we're in the company of two guys that know all about change in football, but it might be slightly different today, and an emotional Phil Thompson and Ray Houghton. But look after each other, you might need each other today, because coming up on this extended Matchday Live, we'll be reflecting on Jürgen Klopp's Anfield career, how he fell madly in love with the club, the city and its people, and of course we'll be looking back at the memories he's given us all as well. Steve Hunter and John Aldridge, talking of emotion, will be on hand for live audio commentary to guide you through all of the action as Liverpool take on Wolves. That is from just before kick-off at 4 o'clock today. And then when the full-time whistle sounds, the season ends and Anfield will rise up as one for a final time in tribute to the man who's changed all of our lives. Very warm welcome to a stupendous looking Anfield. It's a scene of celebration just below us at the moment as scores of people, hundreds of people line up for their matchday programme, the souvenir that they will take to whichever part of the world that they've travelled from today, and they're hoping for one last glimpse of Jürgen Klopp. And of course there's a game to play as well, hopefully 3 points for Liverpool as they end the season. Welcome to both of you.
Hi Pete,
how are you feeling?
Feeling funny for the last couple of days, been here at Anfield yesterday. The thousands who were here yesterday, I think people just want to be near the ground, near Jürgen, as close as they can be without actually being in the ground. So you're feeling all the emotion, we're all part of this emotion. So I hope the game justifies it. I don't want it to be like a testimonial. I want it to reflect Jürgen's time here at Anfield, where we go for it. But I don't think anything will take it away from this is Jürgen's last stand. And I just think he has been absolutely wonderful, and we'll talk more and more about him, but it's been one hell of a journey with him.
How are you feeling, Ray?
It's been like the long goodbye, isn't it? You know, it's been going on for a few weeks, a few months when he made the decision to move on, but it's finally here. You know, this is it. He's already cleared his desk out at the training ground. He's in preparation for what's next in his life. But for these fans and the numbers that are here, which is absolutely incredible, the sea of red around the stadium is absolutely magnificent. They're coming here as one to pay homage to someone who's changed their lives over the last 9 years. Someone who came in and promised so much. But the thing is, he delivered. And that was what was important to the Liverpool supporters. He brought back a belief, he brought back a hunger, a desire, and a love of the club, and an empathy with the fans, which was usually important. But it's about delivering. It's really about delivering.
Everything in life, particularly in football, is about connections, Tomo, and everyone that's here today will have their own story about, as mentioned at the top, how he's changed their lives.
Well, we have, and you talk about how it's changed their lives, because Liverpool Football Club has been part of our life as much as our families are so important to us. This is the next best thing, and if you can make our life that little bit better, that little bit happier, by giving us something that we can enjoy and we can associate with, and that means giving us great days, giving us wonderful times, giving us trophies. And he's delivered in everything that he wanted to do, and we can only thank him for it. And that's why we are all feeling emotional. Listen, you know, we could all be here for the manager's last game and whatever, but this is Jürgen Klopp. This is different. It's not only we're talking about it, every media channel has been flooded with it, and rightly so, because this guy has transformed the Premier League. Pep Guardiola, yes, he's going for a fourth title, but nobody has done it like Jürgen Klopp has done it.
There's a Premier League title to be won today, Ray, but you could argue this is an even bigger story, couldn't you?
Oh, it
you know,
is.
if Man City go on to win the Premier League, we've seen it happen so many times before. You wonder whether the story is here at Anfield.
Well, it
today.
is the story for Liverpool fans, certainly. You know, Manchester City will tell you it's a different story for them. They're trying to do something that no other club's done, which is win 4 Premier League titles in a row. For Arsenal, they've not won in 20 years, the Premier League. So for them, if they were to get over the line, they'll be absolutely delighted with that. But I seen a sign walking up from Strandale Station just a little bit earlier, and it was on the door of a Liverpool fan. We have seen things that others can only dream about. And that's what Jürgen Klopp's brought to this football club. He's been there before, but he's brought a uniqueness again, which makes him a very, very special club to support. And that placard, I think, summed it up perfectly for me as an ex-player, as a fan, and everything that's gone on at this club for the last 9 seasons.
His lips wobbling already. We're not ready for this.
Don't worry.
We're not ready for this yet. I mentioned again a couple of minutes ago that you've part of being a footballer, part of being part of a coaching staff is that you see so much change. And how does this feel different, or does it feel the same as when all the other managers have gone before who've been icons?
Well, this has been quite different. A lot of the times, as sort of managers, I was here as sort of a reserve team manager. I was here as sort of assistant manager for quite a while with Gerard Houllier. And most of the time, you leave your position because it's going wrong. Jürgen has come in and blessed our lives. He's given us some wonderful times, but he gave us time to mourn, to go along with him. So it has been a long goodbye, and it has been emotional, but it's been a wonderful one. And it goes on this glorious day here, celebration. The streets around Anfield is packed to come and pay homage to somebody who has changed our lives. He has been wonderful. But other managers, Bill Shankly, and I only thought about this yesterday, and I thought, he never had the chance. For being here for 15 years, he's never had the chance to say a proper goodbye, not just on one day, because he left in June or July and he announced his retirement. Jürgen's given us a chance to do that, and I think it has been a most wonderful journey. He's been the most incredible, passionate man, and we'll probably discuss his personality a little bit more later in the day.
Yeah. Before we dive deeper into the manager's achievements, let's hear from the man himself in his final interview for LFC TV. The bosses sit down with Kelly Cates to reflect on the period of success that truly defined not only playing the Liverpool way, but the Jürgen Klopp way.
Tell me about that team, the team that won the Champions League, the team that won the Premier League title after those decades of waiting for Liverpool fans, and the qualities that they had.
For a long period, we were maybe one of the best teams in Europe between 18 and 20. Maybe we were the best team in Europe. It felt exceptional, and only the last part was obviously without supporters. Before that was with supporters, and there we really showed what togetherness can do. The good fun about it was that we had a good team when I arrived. We qualified for the European League final, and people go back and he wasn't good enough, he wasn't good. We qualified for the European League final. We have played incredible games. Would we have been champion years later with this team? No chance. But for that time, that was the team, good teams. But we had to change it step by step, and we did. Players coming in, we always talk, of course, about, and it's rightly so, Ali, Verge, Mo. Before that, Sadio, incredible player. Gini Wijnaldum, incredible player. Andy Robertson, incredible. Fabinho, incredible player. Joel Matip, incredible player. Like so many things that we had to put together. In the end, we created a specific way of football. And it was, did we invent the false line? I don't know. Probably Bobby Firmino invented it. But did we invent the winger striker with Sadio and Mo? I'm not sure, but we used it in a very special way. We had we created the most offensive fullbacks, but we really, step by step, piece by piece, we put a team together who became a machine. My idea always was, I want to be the coach who can beat the best. In moments I like to be the best team, but actually that's a moment. I want to be always ready to be the best. That's the team I want. I want to be, I've been a big coach of the team who nobody wants to play against, for the reason that we go for them and we come to that in a second because I want to speak about it, but in a really fair way. I don't want to kill them. I don't want to jump into them. I don't want to use dark arts. I want to be all over them for winning the ball or not for giving free kicks away. And we were that team for a pretty long time. In that period, while we were building that team, we were, I think, pretty sure, 5 times in a row the fairest team in England, 4 times the fairest in Europe. We did it in a proper way. And the proper way is for me the Liverpool way. We don't have everything, but we still can fight for everything. That's how it is, and that's what we always tried. And how I said, these 2.5, 3 years maybe I don't know how many games we won, and these kind of the points we had, the points tally is crazy. That was a real machine nobody wanted to play against. And whenever you would have woke them up, they would have gone for you and for each other and stuff like this through the fire. That was absolutely outstanding. And then you have to rebuild, then you have to do it again, and that's what we did. And so it's tricky to stay successful, but we were always around. And again, I wouldn't be in peace with it if I could have done more. I couldn't have done more. Could I have done better? Yeah, of course. But only knowing today, at the time, no, because that was all I knew at the time.
Sitting down with Kelly Cates, daughter, of course, of Sir Kenny Dalglish, which was quite apt as he comes towards the end of what has been the most wonderful adventure. And he delivered the Champions League, he delivered the Premier League, but there was a stat that came out there a couple of weeks ago to say that he was only a couple of games away from it being 3 of each.
And that's what we have to remember. If we wouldn't be going up against, certainly the Champions League, losing 2 of them, it's a journey that you're on, and yes, it's a shame that we couldn't actually get over the line. But the Premier League results, going up against Manchester City, and all what they got, all the wealth that they've got, and obviously we won't go into sort of what's happened. But for Jürgen pitching up, and I've seen something in the paper this morning that says we should be thankful for Mikel Arteta and his Arsenal side, because they've given us a title race in these last 2 years. Has he not been watching things? Has he not been looking at what's happened the 5 years before that? What Jürgen Klopp has been? City, with the points total, had run away with it. Yeah. Except for Liverpool, except for Jürgen Klopp's side, who pushed them to the hilt. 99, 97 points. It was totally incredible. And we deserved more, we deserved better than that. But it is what it is. But it was that journey, those wonderful seasons that we had. We should not regret anything that we've had under Jürgen Klopp.
Yeah, I remember being here 2 years ago, and against the very opponents we're playing today, we're playing against Wolves, and the stadium was erupted because Aston Villa had gone to the Etihad and they were 2-0 up, and everyone was thinking it's there for the taking. But City came back and got the 3 points that they needed. How close can you be? Yeah, no, it's very similar to today with the Man City and Arsenal, and who can win it and who might lose it, if you want to put it that way. But I think you should just be looking over the years that he's been there. The one thing that resonates with me, Pete, was when he came in, he said, I will win you the league title. We sort of heard that before from other managers. We were like, well, is this just going to be another case of that? You know, saying it is easy but not delivering. But he did. And it's the recruitment policy that he brought in, selling players at the right time, you know, bringing the youth through, giving them more opportunities. I remember being at Arsenal this season in the FA Cup, and he brought on the kids, and you're thinking, is that the right choice at that stage of the game? And they went on to win the match. That's good management. That's knowing your players. That's having a confidence and a belief in them. And that's what he said in his 9 years here.
Ray, it's trust that he gives in players, not just the young lads. It's trust in anybody who comes on. He believes in them. Some of the players are probably thinking, why has he put me on at this moment in time? It worked, and I know people will go, just lately things have not been right in some of the substitutions, but more than 3/4 of the season is substitutions and what he's done, not more so than the Carabao Cup. And those lads who came on, those young lads have gone, me? Wow. And the chest went out, the shoulders went back, and the trust, and they've gone, that manager believes in me. And they go out and they produce exactly what Jürgen wanted.
90 debuts he's given since he came here at the tail end of 2015.
You sound surprised. I'm not surprised at that, because I go back to what Phil just said there. There's a trust, but it's a belief and the confidence. But he sets the tone at the top. You know, Alex with the younger lads, he'll have been given, you know, some guidance from the manager and the coaching staff of what he wants from him, and he's delivered at that level. But you've got to get the players ready and playing the Liverpool way with that mentality. You look at the lads that come out, Kwanzaa, Conor Bradley, grounded, really nice lads. unbelievable futures in the game. But that comes from the grounding that they've been given, not just at the club but with their families as well. They're going to be top players for this football club for a number of years. But that comes from the manager as well. He sets the tone. You need a leader. You know who's in charge. I like that about my manager. I want to know who the manager is, who's the one that's making the big decisions. And every time I've seen it, it's been Jürgen Klopp. And one of the ones, and I'll come back to a quick story of it, was Jordan Enders. I remember Jordan Enders got brought off in a game, and Jordan was coming off, and he was like not happy. They would say, la la la. And I've just seen Jürgen going over to him and just gave him the finger and said, da 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 da, and he just went like that. Quiet, and there was your captain, your leader, just coming off and went, oh, maybe it's not my time. Just went sat on the bench. That's the leader. That's your manager. He's the one in charge, making the crucial decisions. He knows what's right. He knows when he should be doing things. And Phil just said about his substitutions this season. 30-odd goals they've created or scored when they came on. They've changed games. And that comes down to the manager saying, you know what, I need to change it. I need to do something a little bit different. And he's put on the right players at the right time. They've gone out and got the vital moments in the game. It's the difference between getting a point, losing the game, or ultimately what Liverpool done more often than not this season, got the 3 points.
There's different types of leadership though. We had Nat Phillips on Extra Time a couple of weeks ago who was saying that he pulled him aside after he gave him his debut and he said, you're playing too safe. He said, I can get any centre-back to just play it safe. He said, you know, have faith in yourself that you can knock those long diags. I've seen you do it in training, and if it goes wrong, I'll take the blame.
Rhys Williams, Nat Phillips, these lads come in and when there was a massive ask wanting from them, they never let Jürgen down, they never let the club down. I think back, I don't know whether you're thinking at the same time, because you're saying, you know, take risk, be positive, know that you're a good player. Yeah. Remember the Cruyff turn on the edge of the box?
In the San Siro.
I'd look like down and going, Nat Phillips just done that. Yeah. I wouldn't have tried that myself after sort of 300 games. But he did it, and maybe it's the words of Jürgen ringing in his ears. You're a good player, son. Have trust in yourself, have belief in yourself. And you go, wow. And that's what he was about. He was nice and cool, and it wasn't a bit of luck. He actually knew what he was doing at that time.
You look at the win percentage comparisons as well, and we spoke a little bit about Man City before, who would have won the league every year since 2018 by margins as big as 16 to 20 odd points as well. It's just an incredible legacy, and he almost barged into the room and said, this isn't happening anymore now.
Yeah, but it's also go back to the spending. He hasn't overspent because he's had trust in the younger element. You don't always have to go and spend big money on players if your recruitment's right, and also with your youngsters that are coming through as well, and they're going to be good enough to get into your first team. So that's what I've admired about him. He's got a real understanding of the club in general, where they are, where he wants to take them. And he's also a great believer in, I think, giving responsibility to others. You see that with Pep and others on the team. They take. It's not all about him. He's not taking training every day. He'll give responsibility to others. But ultimately, they'll come back to the man in charge because he's the decision maker. But that's what I like about him. It's not always about him in general. It's about his whole staff.
He's made good players, right? He's made good players, great players. He's made great players, superstars. And they go away. People have come to the club and left now, but he's made them better players, better men, better people than when they come to this club. And that, I think, is the class of the man.
And the trophies, Phil, as well. That phrase that we'll hear time and time again in the next couple of days, the days that changed our lives. It's great that you can play football and upset the balance a little bit, but you've got to deliver as well, which he did.
Which is in his legacy. Because Gerard Houllier said to me, Phil, if you go back into the game when we left the club, you have to think about what legacy you have left. What have you done for this football club? What have you changed? And I think about his words all the time when I'm looking at Jürgen now. And he said, we brought discipline back when the club was in desperate need with discipline. We brought a state-of-the-art Melwood training centre, the best in the country. And most of all, you just said, we won trophies again. We put this club back on the map, winning trophies, European trophy after 16 or 17 years in the wilderness in European football. So Jürgen has brought this all back to us proud. There's people down there who are of an age who won't have seen, they've only heard from the granddads and the dads about the great European nights. Jürgen has brought that back. 3 Champions League finals.
It's a winning mentality.
I know, Europa League final.
A winning mentality. You can talk about other things that he's brought to the club, but that winning feeling again, being a club that can win trophies, that can go and compete at the highest level, when you're in that sort of arena of matches, playing against the very best in European football when it comes to the Champions League, are you more than good enough to match them? That's great to have as a club, and the fans absolutely adore nights like that.
Quite apt that Proud Mary plays on the stage in the background as we talk about all of this as well. We'll let the lads do the head roll while we talk about something else for a second, because now this season, more than most, have seen the impact that the manager's made on the young superstars in the making. And of course, it's not just on the park that he's been doing just that. Back in 2018, you might remember a fresh-faced young Red with short hair in those days, got the backing of the boss, and he's never looked back. From humble beginnings of the boss nights to the tens of thousands in Madrid, Jamie Webster's back leading the salute to the boss this afternoon. And Becky Davis has nipped down the road to the Olympia to grab a word with him before he went on stage.
Yeah, we're here at the Olympia with none other than Jamie Webster. What an atmosphere it is already, and it's sold out, of course, today. And I think it's a celebration, isn't it, of the boss's legacy?
Yeah, of course. It's it's a chance for the younger kids in the city to have a last sing song, in the name of Jürgen Klopp, and hopefully they remember a little bit about what's gone on through his time. To be honest, I think the adults are here for their own reasons as well, to be honest. But no, it's an amazing day. It always is, especially the family events like this, because it's what football's all about. It's about families coming together and having a good day out, in the name of the Liverpool Football Club. And yeah, I'm just buzzing. I love doing this stuff, and don't be wrong, it's going to be a sad day, but at least if we can start the day with a bit of positivity and a bit of energy.
It's a real mixture of emotions today, isn't it? And even for yourself, we've just seen that footage of a very fresh-faced Jamie Webster there. But your career, you've kind of professionally been on this journey as well as a supporter, of course.
Yeah, I mean, Jürgen, you could say he gave me my career, just to be honest with you, when he did surprise me in Michigan all them years ago, 2018 I think it was. And my social media presence grew from that. Literally, people knew who I was from that, and it's given me a platform now to not only do all the great things we did with Liverpool, of course, but where I am in my career now, releasing albums, playing festivals like Glastonbury and stuff like that. I could say I owe a lot of that to Jürgen, giving me the platform in the first place, giving me the exposure.
In terms of highlights, you're speaking of so many there, but I don't want to put words into your mouth, but you and I spoke backstage in Madrid, and at that point in your career, that must have been an absolutely unbelievable experience.
Yeah, it was, the only thing I think that could have went better for me that day was being in big Divock Origi's shoes and scoring the winner, because 60,000 of my people in front of me, then going on to win the European Cup, then going on to do the players' party and stuff like that night, having a celebration with Jürgen himself, and just it was probably up there. I'm due to get married in a couple of weeks, so but to this date, it's probably the best day of my life. And I even got offered a record deal that day as well, off the back of the gig. So my life literally changed again.
You must have not slept that night when you went to bed.
No. Well, I remember I had to get a taxi to the ground on my own just to get some headspace after the gig, and yeah, it was days like that. No matter what I do in my career, they can never be took away from me. And the thing that was so amazing about it, which is when I looked into the crowd, it's similar to today, but on a bigger scale. There was 3 generations of fans. There was granddads, sons, grandsons, all together, arm in arm, tears in their eyes, sun on the face, ale in the air. It was just, it was an amazing day. And them sights, honestly, I challenge anyone to produce a better sight in front of me, because I don't think they could.
Well, listen, I know you're off to Anfield obviously a little bit later on, but just tell us the emotions. As you say, it's a real mixture, and maybe some tears as well on the cop, I think, tonight.
Yeah, when he announced that he was leaving, I was bang in the middle of an album campaign and in the middle of a tour, so I really couldn't dwell on it too much, because when the news come to me, it was the shock that you get when you hear the worst news that you could ever hear, probably. Yeah. I had the same feeling, but I had to bottle it, because I had so much. I was out and about in front of people, and everyone was coming up to me saying, "What do you think about Klopp?" And I just kept saying, "I can't think about it." Yeah, I think today is the only day I'm going to actually bring it to my forefront and realise that he's not going to be with us anymore. And if I'm not crying on 90 minutes, then there's something seriously wrong with me, because, as I say, I think everyone will be the same. It's just been, I'm 30 now, so he's been here since I was 21.
Growing up with him, yeah.
And literally my 20s, I've turned into a man, with Jürgen at the helm, and I've had the best 20s that anyone could ever ask for, really. And it's thanks to Jürgen and his team, and yeah, we're all lucky to have seen what we've seen. And I'd just like to sign off probably with what I said on Twitter. Really, it's the fact that we owe him everything. and he doesn't owe us a single thing. And you know, Jürgen, wherever you're at, mate, good luck and God bless.
Oh, incredible words from Jamie Webster. Listen, you've got to get on stage now, so we will let you get off, but we will see you very soon. Enjoy the game as well. Back to you guys.
Channeled his inner Gary Neville there, just walking out of shot as we talked to him. Big couple of weeks for him as well. He gets married soon as well, so we wish him all of the best with that. We're going to change tack now, though, moving from talking about the manager to the man himself. To do that, we're going to sub out Ray and Phil. They're not used to being substituted. They're going to head inside, though, and be pitch side with Mark Benstead when we head inside Anfield from 3 o'clock. Joining me next, though, will be two Reds who knew very quickly that Jürgen Klopp and Liverpool were going to be a perfect fit. Before we hear from them, a bit more from the boss, speaking about his love for the place that he now calls home.
We had the players goodbye. They wanted to say goodbye, and it was as well about how they feel, how they felt. It is like that. We all felt home. We all felt welcomed. That's what we all felt from the start. That's a special thing about the people in this area. The Scousers is really special. We felt supported, we felt loved, we felt everything, and yes, we delivered as well in moments, and we always fought, and that's again is what the people expect, and so it was the biggest win-win situation I ever saw and experienced in my lifetime, because nothing would have happened without the people. It was just, it fitted like a glove from the first day and until today. And that's why it's so tricky and emotional to say goodbye, even knowing it's 100% the right thing to do.
You talked about your kind of affinity with the people of the city and the city itself. Do you understand, for those reasons, why the comparisons have been made between you and Bill Shankly?
No, that's too big, obviously. There's no chance to really get a phrase where my name is used in the same phrase with Bill, Bob, or Kenny. It's just it just doesn't get down. So it's just different levels. But I understand. I was not there, obviously, and how we always get is glorified. Do you use that? Probably Bill. 100% sure he was a great guy, fantastic, but 100% you look back and he gets glorified. So it's like, yeah, absolutely a perfect human being. He did everything right, socialist, great speaker, blah 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 blah. So, and that's what's happened with me now. So I'm who I am, and a few things are better and other things are worse, but because I was here when it was not, when people were really not happy with it, we all together re-energized the club 100%. I know exactly my impact and stuff like that, and I'm happy with that we brought the club back where it belongs. But obviously, being in the same phrase with the three other fellas, it's really tricky. I cannot get that really.
Yeah, we're going to be hearing an awful lot more of that throughout the course of today. Phil Thompson and Ray Houghton have gone inside to join Mark, and we're joined by Brian Reid and John Gibbons, who have well and truly dressed for a long day of emotion and hopefully celebration as well. It's been really interesting hearing from former players who've seen so much change and how much he means to them. You know, ex-footballers can get a little bit aloof at times and think, well, it's just football, isn't it? But you can tell the emotion that he brings to those two. What about you? What does he mean to you, John?
He means everything, you know, to so many of us supporters around the world. What he did was he put Liverpool right at the top, and that's where we all want to be, you know, and it's where maybe we were starting to wonder whether we'd ever be up there again, and that sounds dramatic, but it was true, and he put us right at the top. He gave us some incredible nights here, some decent ones on the road as well across Europe, and he gave us an adventure, and he just led so well as well, and he put pride in this football club, and we'll always be grateful for that, and hopefully we can show him today.
What about you, Brian?
Well, I'm from Generation Shankly, you know what I mean? I started going in the 60s, and Shankly was everything to us. He was our idol, and he transformed the club. And there's been great managers since, Bob Paisley, who can match what he kind of won. But Klopp is undoubtedly the second most transformative figure in Liverpool's history. I mean, maybe say John Holden who started, but certainly on the football side of it, because he did what Shankly did. He took a team that was in the doldrums relatively. He bonded immediately with the fans, and he got the culture of Liverpool the way Shankly did. He had the wit, he had the motivation, and he put the trophies on the table and gave us some fantastic nights. I'm just thinking today, we got our shorts on. This is European Cup final weather. He's taken us to 4 finals. We've dressed like this in Basel 8 years ago yesterday, Madrid, Paris, Kiev, and some of these fans are making me laugh. They're going, "Oh, we only won one league." Yeah, but did you have those days? Did you have those nights? And the nights that led up to it? That's what Klopp gave us. He gave us great days, great nights, and fantastic memories.
You were lucky that you managed to transcend both of the things, but you're making the point before that these days that revisited all of these young lads and girls who are coming to the game now were all the stuff that you used to bore your kids about years ago. Totally. In the good old days. The good old days returned.
Well, the 2005 in Istanbul, I was there with our Phil, and that was the night when I think every younger person, I'll include you in that, John, definitely, they just felt, great, all the other fellas banging on about the 80s and the 70s. Well, we've got our own. We've got our own Rome and Paris and Wembley. Well, this is their Klopp is their Shankly. They've felt what we felt. The love for the man, the idolisation of him. And a very, very similar figure. And I mean, Bob Paisley was fantastic, but he stands out completely the way Shankly did. You fight your corner, and you just love him. He's just 100% genuine.
Do you remember the energy? Do you remember the smiles were on faces straight away, weren't they, when he came from the first press conference, that he delivered on so many of those promises? But we believed straight away, didn't we? He was the hottest property in European football at the moment. Everybody wanted him, didn't they?
100%. You were excited to get him, and because you knew what he'd done, but you didn't know huge amounts about him, as a person, and about his aura. But like you say, a lot of managers you talk about, when did they change things? What match was it? What trophy? For him, it was a press conference, wasn't it? When he walked in, and talk about turning doubters to believers. But I just felt like you watched the press conference and you went out into Liverpool, and everyone felt like you were walking taller, and everyone had the chest pumped up a little bit more, and you reminded us we were Liverpool and who we were. And sometimes it takes a bit of an outsider to go, no, you're brilliant, you're massive, you're Liverpool, and you're like, yeah, he's right. And from there there was no looking back, and obviously it was an instant success, but we knew what we were building towards, and he delivered.
West Brom was a moment as well, Bri, wasn't it? We talk about what he got from the players. He got the best from us as fans as well.
And there's that cleverness as well. You never knew when. Do we have to earn a fist bump here? Blah, blah, blah. But it's the psychology, and again, I go back to Shankly, that kind of psychology of knowing, of understanding the fans. And football is the most emotional sport there is. And that's why you see it, those games in South America. It brings out such emotion in people. And Klopp is for all emotion. And we've been that roller coaster with him, so we brought the most emotion out of us, from the Boss Nights to the Jamie Webster singing, the songs we've had on the Klopp, phenomenal. And it's just been that feel good, we're onto this, let's get into them. And that's, it's a rare thing, not many managers can do that, can deliver that kind of, can connect with the fans and lift them so well.
We felt we had an influence on it as well. The fan parks is a perfect illustration for that. I'm not sure any other club could have got that.
Yeah.
90-odd thousand people in a park singing Liverpool songs, feeling like we could influence the team's performance.
No, that's it. And we were lucky enough to be on stage at Kiev and in Madrid and in Paris. And the memories I'll always cherish, because looking out on the stage and the sea of red, and especially in Madrid, you couldn't see the back of it. You're like, how far back does it go? Because it was narrow, and it just sort of blended into red, and you weren't quite sure where it stopped. And everyone was coming out just to celebrate this football team. And obviously some people were lucky enough to have tickets. For some people that was their final, going to the fan park, and they were determined to enjoy it. And what a show of unity. And I remember Madrid going away thinking, well, we can't lose now after that. And of course we didn't. They won it. And I've had some great days following Liverpool. For as a 24 hours, that'll take some stop in Madrid.
Think of how it catapulted careers as well. Likes of Jamie Webster wouldn't have played anywhere near the type of crowds he was playing at the fan parks. Was it a little bit like the 60s then? That the music tied into the football, and we all felt part of a Liverpool thing as a city?
Well, the way it's culture, isn't it? A culture was created in the mid-60s with the cops singing, no one's sung before. And the flags and the European aways, and there was an identity that Liverpool had as a cop, the best crowd in the world. And now this it with the likes of Anfield Rap and Jamie Webster and all that, and LFC TV, and no, it's been a kind of a gathering, a pulling together, a culture that's, you know, and it's embracing a global culture too. You know, you look around the fan, I'm just been in a pub full of locals. I go back to a pub for locals. This is full of people from all over the world, and it's great to see.
Yeah.
And you know, the likes of Klopp has elevated us back into that kind of the hemisphere again. And you know, we even those European fans that we lost, we went in thinking we'll win this because we're the best team in the world. He made us think like that. In fact, I haven't gone into many games, even when we played City, and gone, we're not going to win this. Now, you know.
Just seeing in the fan park just beneath us at the moment, the bus pulling into the car park.
Incredible.
It does give you those chills about the open top bus tours as well. Again, life-changing moments for people that couldn't be at the game, that could be there to see the team that they adore parade these wonderful trophies through the city.
That's the thing about parades for me, is it's for the whole city and beyond. You know, some people come in and get the train in, and they're always welcome here, aren't they? But I always think it's you know, it's a family member who maybe, you know, isn't mad into it, but they want to see Liverpool do well for the city and stuff like that. And it's people who just like to see the city do well. And when the city does well, it gives you pride. You know what I mean? It's not just your team; it's the city going round. I loved calling Liverpool European champions. I loved calling them world champions, and that's what you celebrate in these parades. And everyone comes out, and the city just looks gorgeous, and it's beamed around the world. You know, the pictures that you guys get and other media organisations, they go around, and there's nowhere better than Liverpool in the sunshine, isn't it? And so it's great for the city, and that's another thing that Jürgen Klopp's done. He's not just transformed the football team; he's made the city more exciting. He's made the city more vibrant. He's made the city cooler.
Yeah.
It is fair to say as well, and a lot of the people who come now is a small part down to him.
I think that was life-changing for the players as well, that, Bri, you know, seeing the relationship that they had with the fans, you know, a bus crawling at 5 miles an hour where they're looking into the eyes of Liverpool fans, you know, fans that were holding up pictures of dead relatives because that was the only way they could bring them to see something like that. The players, I think, relationship with the fans changed on the back of things like that.
Yeah, I go back to that word emotion again. Liverpool's a very emotional city. It lives in its emotions. Some people mock that, but I pity them for not having what we've got, that sense of community. And so I pity fans now who are saying he only won one league. You had to be there. It was brilliant, believe me. But yeah, the emotions of it all. I mean, I was thinking just before about that last cup final. Now, I've been to cup finals since the 70s, but that was fantastic. I remember getting back on the coach going, you know what? I think I enjoyed that more than any of them, domestically. Yeah. Because the kids, Klopp, the fact that we were Chelsea, but what we were up against that day, and it's just a great feeling of, it didn't go to pens for a start, but you just walked out with a big grin on your face, and that's what he did. He put a grin back on our face, yeah. And it's still there.
Still there for a while, yeah. Do you know, one of the things that he talks about quite a lot and has done in the last couple of weeks is this freedom of the city that he got as well. You know, it stands alongside the trophies for him that he was accepted as a German manager coming to Liverpool as an honorary Scouser.
Yeah, and I think he does feel like when he came here, I think when he arrived, he felt like these are my people, do you know what I mean? And he wouldn't have known a huge amount about the place before he came. He obviously knew the football club and the history, and that's why he wanted to come. But the people, I think he loves it with his football mad as he is. Basically, I think it's a city that lives, breathes, eats football. Whenever you go out, it's a city, go get your haircut, you go and buy a sandwich, everyone just talks about football, and he thinks, well, I'm like that, and I finally come to a place where they're saying to me, and also his politics and his values and how he conducts himself, how he leads, and how he speaks about togetherness resonates obviously hugely in the city as well. So I think he felt he found kindred spirits with us, and obviously massively we did with them as well. So he'd always be a Scouser to me, and of course Uller as well. You know, they'd always be welcome, and you know, they are honorary Scousers.
Mentions the word to me there. Your lad was at the very forefront of getting this song out there. You to me are everything. Nobody or nothing summed it up better, did it, for all of us? Those moments mixed to an iconic track in Liverpool as well. He's been everything to us, hasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, someone put on Twitter today, Phil's been trying to get that out for about 50. And I know he has, because he kept saying, should you use me for this, man? If they don't let you do it now, they're not going to let you do it at all. Yeah, summed it up. A Liverpool group from L8, right in the heart of Liverpool, where the murals are. And again, everybody just... the amount of people I've heard saying, I've got, you know, I know I'm going to cry today, or I've got me cry out the way, you know. That's a unique thing again, isn't it, surely, you know. I mean, I don't even think when Ferguson left Man United after what he'd won, people were that emotional. You know, it's that kind of... and it seems a bit premature, really, let's be honest, you know, Is he going? I think it's the right decision because that's how he's feeling. But for us, it probably feels he seems young, he seems full of life. But that's his decision, and that's probably a little bit of sadness. But I mean, it's gratitude really. It's gratitude we should feel today, not sadness.
How will he manage today, do you think? Again, we saw the pictures of him driving in with the team before. He clings on to the fact that he's actually got a football match to manage today and a team to pick as well. But how do you predict he's going to be when you never walk alone starts and moments that might change throughout the game?
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? Because like you say, there's a game to win, and no one loves winning games more than Jürgen Klopp, and no one loves, Liverpool winning more than Jürgen. And so I think that'll be his focus. Listen, let's all hope we go 2-0 up after 20 minutes and we can all have a big celebration. He'll probably get his name song a little bit more than what he would have liked. But let's all hope that you can put it to bed early. And listen, Liverpool don't really tend to work like that. We take it to the wire. But let's hope today that it is one that we can put the game to bed, win it nice and early, be up by half time, and then we can just enjoy it. Because like Bryce said there, it's gratitude that you want to show, and it's all smiles today. But that's easier when you're 2 or 3-0 up. So business first, and then just celebrate the man.
How do you think it's going to go for him, Bry?
I was going to say, at least not to worry what's happening at Manchester City. That kick in the face when they equalise. I think he's the king of no script. I don't think he needs to script. He's a fantastic ad-libber. He'll be off the cuff, and you know what? Whatever he does today will be perfect, because that's the kind of thing he gets right, doesn't he? He gets these things right. I heard him. He was saying a film crew wanted to film his final team talk, and he said, "No way! I don't know what I'm going to say, so I don't know how I'm going to react." But you just know he'll come through, and it'll be, what should just be an end of season game with Wolves, where we know where we're finishing. Could be one of those really memorable ones because we leave with great memories. Yeah,
it might be quite a handy thing for him though, mightn't it, that he just reverts back to the football again, otherwise the emotion of the whole thing could just get the better of him.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, he's a football manager and we need to see our players win, and that's what he'll be thinking. He'll leave the emotion till the end, I would think. But that last team tour would be something, I think.
And the legacy that he leaves, just briefly as well, John, it's not like a manager that might leave the team thinking it's on its way down now, this is a good time to exit. He'll think that there's lots of excitement in that team that the next manager will be able to profit from.
Oh yeah, we were lucky enough to interview him last week, and we were like, "Oh, you're a bit gutted you're not going to get the next 10 years of Harvey Elliott." And he was like, "Yeah, I am. You know what I mean? I'd love to manage Harvey Elliott. It's all the other stuff that I sort of don't want to do." And he's just one. You think about how he's improved players and how he's taken talented players to another level. And listen, obviously the players deserve the credit as well, but how Trent speaks about him, how Curtis Jones speaks about him, Conor Bradley, Joel Quanta, guys who've come in this season and just been phenomenal, and the confidence he gives them. I think that's his legacy. It's the footballers he's improved, it's the footballers he's built, and it's all well and good saying, Trent would have made it anyway, but you don't know. You need the manager to believe in you, to give you the chance and to back you when things are a little bit tricky, and so I think that's his legacy. Obviously, there's the memories and the feeling around the football club, but the footballers who he's taken on to another level, and many of them have got their best years to come, and how lucky for the next manager that he's going to get to work with that.
We'll look after each other today. Enjoy the day. I think it's going to be a good one. You might need to stay in the shade. The post-match pint will be interesting later on for the Anfield Rap lads and girls, I'm sure. Supporters are beginning to head inside now as well, away from the queues for the souvenir programme. We're going to do that too. Next up, we're looking at the memories the boss has given all of us, and who better to do that than our commentary team for today. They've been there for pretty much all of the big games as well, making memories themselves with a few tears as well. Who else but Steve Hunter and John Aldridge?
Thank you so much, Pete, my friend. Yes, good afternoon, everybody. Very appropriate, isn't it? I think that the sun is shining and it's all its glory. We can't wait to see that mosaic. I tell you, before the game, it's on 3 sides of the ground. It's not just the Kop, the special Danke Jürgen mosaic. Andy Knott does an unbelievable job. Got to give him a mention. He does the job organising these. He's a fan who goes on the Kop. He does an incredible job organising these. I don't know about any of you folks out there, but I'm feeling it already in the commentary box with Aldo. In an empty stadium, there's only fans just starting to come in now. The legend George Sefton has already played. He started off with the first version of the Beatles, I Feel Fine. Echo and the Bunnymen, Nothing Lasts Forever. And when he played Sinead O'Connor, Nothing Compares to You. I tell you what, Aldo, I've got to say that got to me.
It's not a bad choice, is it? I'm a Believer as well, now by the Monkees. I remember that in my youth, a long time ago, by the way. Yeah, it's a special day. Obviously, it's a special day. Jürgen, the way we're feeling now is anyone's guess, but whether he wants to just get it over or You know, it's really tough for him because this is the last day as a Liverpool manager, isn't it? You know, it's just going to be really strange for him. But I've been outside by Hotel Anfield there before, and outside's manic. It's like the semi-final of the Champions League on a sunny day. It's absolutely crazy out there. You know, look, the respect he's going to get off goes without saying, and he deserves top respect in every sense of what the word means.
Actually, you're right there. That's a great point, Aldo. It feels like we've won the league. I was outside there waiting for you, and there's people standing up on scaffolding, everything. It was unbelievable, the welcome that team coach was getting. It's incredible. No other club does that quite like that.
No, I'll go with that. People say that's not true, but take it from me, it is true. It is true. And if you're Liverpoolian, I've been lucky enough to be one for 65 years. I've seen it time and time again, and it's grew. And it's grown more so under Jürgen, these what we've been doing in these nights with the flares and all that, such as what he's done with the fans. You know, that word belief, it goes a long way. I always remember the West Brom game when, you know, he's talking about people leaving and we scored last minute for a 2-2 goal, a 2-2 draw against a much lesser side. But it was a statement. And all of a sudden we built from that, and people didn't go, as many people didn't go, and they stayed, and they believed that we'd get last minute goals, which we have done a long time. You know, that was one of his firm beliefs, to keep everyone together.
Right then, there have been some unbelievable, unprecedented moments of absolute joy we've witnessed under Jürgen Klopp. I've had the joy of working with this legend at Anfield. It's unbelievable, isn't it, some of the moments we've had. But I think let's start at this one first. It's quite appropriate what we're going to look at first. I think you might agree. I will never forget it. I know each and every single one of you will never forget it. Mo Salah, never give up t-shirt. We knew what happened in Spain at the Nou Camp. Messi, the Argentine genius, who thought he'd dumped us out. But Liverpool had other ideas. Let's relive some of that madness.
Mistake, Mane entered the area, great skill, Henderson's in the box, Henderson, saved it! Yes! Divock Origi, would you believe it? Alexander-Arnold beats Albert on the right-hand side, only Mane in the box, Trent's cross, Wijnaldum! Gini Wijnaldum! Shaqiri on the left, brilliant cross, minutes to go in normal time. Liverpool 3-0. Corner taken quickly. Origi! Unbelievable! Divock Origi! Oh my word! We said we needed an Istanbul. We've done it. Messi, Suarez, Coutinho. Wow, one of our greatest ever nights, if not the greatest ever at Anfield. Liverpool have done it. We're in the final. Liverpool 4. Barcelona 0.
Wow, who was that?
It's one of those nights that we'll never forget because you know I was in the cup Saint Etienne when we won 3-1, 1-0 down, and they scored early on, and next minute you're going wow, and all of a sudden we 3-1. That was amazing. It's amazing that night, the atmosphere in this. But you know, when you're talking about Barcelona team with Messi in there, with Suarez in there, fantastic players, and having to win 4-0. And don't forget, that's when the away goal counted. So we always thought they were going to score, Steve, didn't we? Without, you know, and 4-0 just unfolded in our eyes. I just had to pinch myself all through it. But you know what people tend to forget? That would have been forgotten. We had to finish the job off and go to Madrid and play a hugely talented Tottenham side and beat them. And we won 2-0. And that's what really put Barcelona in the concept where it was, you know. So we won it. Without doing that, we wouldn't. So that's an epic, absolutely epic. It's right up there alongside Istanbul.
Madrid obviously started, didn't it, with redemption from Mo Salah with this penalty.
Yeah. You know, obviously, you know what happened the European Cup before, and you know, and the way we lost it. You know, that was catastrophic with the goalkeeper clumsily throwing 2 in. and we played quite well that day. But you know, to make ends that day, and I'll never forget the sea of red and the way the fans were immense along with the team.
And we have to say, folks, the name Divock Origi will forever be associated with the Jürgen Klopp reign. Has to be.
You know, he didn't play an awful lot, did he? But you know, some of the goals he scored, the Everton one, he will never forget. And when you seen Jürgen running on the pitch, because at the last minute, you know, the game was just flittering out, wasn't it? But then, you know, obviously to put it to bed in Madrid, you know, he'll always be embedded in folklore history.
With them scenes, we just saw a clip of it before with Jürgen and got everybody together. Mo's there next to him in the Never Give Up t-shirt in front of the Kop that night against Barca. I remember you at the end of that one. I'm still talking, waffling on. You threw your headphones down and you looked at the fans who were down below us and you were swinging your arms and celebrating with them. It was just unbelievable emotions. It's something we will never ever forget that.
No, you can't. You can't. You know, as I say, you know, you look at history, it's football. History, it's nothing. You know, we're lucky to be very historical, but I've been talking about the Synthetic game since it happened in 1977. I've been talking about it ever since. And then you talk about, I'm still talking about the Istanbul game. I'm still talking about the Barcelona game, and when these mad, and we've been lucky enough to, this great club, I've been lucky to do that over periods and periods of times, you know, especially since the 60s.
Jürgen, by the way, he said we'd win the Premier League, you know. He said so. Let's take a look back at some of those incredible moments, because let's not forget, sadly, there was a pandemic in the middle of this. Okay, there was some unbelievable moments here. That's Sadio Mane winner at Villa Park. I remember commentating on it with you. We were going crazy, weren't we?
Well, the game was, we just thought, like, you know, at that time, you've got to go toe-to-toe with Man City. You've got to win every single game. And I always remember that had a bearing on Pep and the Manchester City players, because they thought like it was a draw, it fits out to a draw. Then the up pops off a corner, the smallest man in the box, and it's a great header in the far post.
That Fabinho goal against City as well, that really flew in, because City were trying to get a penalty at the other end, and he was like, yes, get in, Fab.
That was a great strike, wasn't it? Never to be forgotten, absolutely.
And Mo Salah's goal against United from an Alisson Becker assist, I think, is the iconic moment of that Premier League title-winning season.
You know what? It's funny you should say that, because we remember the goal. It was a great, what a ball from the keeper. And Mo just, I remember he was holding off the player, the young James, wasn't it? And then put it up through the goalkeeper's legs. But I always remember the ground and the Kop in particular singing, "We're going to win the league." Now, I've been singing that since I was like 10, 9, 8. But he sang it with fervency in front of the Man United fans there, knowing that we were, and believing, that word again, believing that we will and we're going to. The belief around the stadium, and it got to me when we are. That's when I knew we were going to win it, that moment. And obviously we went on to win it.
And you know, before the pandemic, we went 25 points clear there. And I think besides winning that league, it was so sad that it was in front of an empty stadium. But you know, that parade after that Champions League loss to Madrid, people were, you know, some of the players, I remember talking to some of the players that night after we lost 1-0 to Madrid when Courtois had the game of his life. And some of them were saying, oh, what's it going to be like this? And some of them were like, we're not so sure what it was going to be like. And I was saying to them, this is the reward for bringing the league title back after 30 years. That was unreal.
Well, look, there's parades and there's parades. No one in England, Celtic up at the north, could ever do a parade like Liverpool. And you look back, you look at what Liverpool's got to offer as a city along the front line and the Mersey, and what was there was absolutely brilliant. I was so proud that day to see and I could see the faces on Klopp and the players couldn't believe it as they came down the hill by Scott Road down, and they seen it. What they seen was amazing. No other team could get anywhere near that. That was proper class from the fans.
What about the Wembley joy though? The penalty shootouts. You know, the cost the first one there with Kepa, the goalkeepers taking penalties. Quaveen Kelleher, one of our own from the academy, who wasn't a goalkeeper until he was 12. He was unreal, wasn't he?
The penalty, top drawer. You know, at Wembley, you know, the biggest stage. You know, he was a magic save. It really was.
And then Costas against City, that penalty was brilliant, wasn't it? Millie couldn't watch that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, we had some fantastic times. You know, and look, the one that's just happened. You know, the one that's just happened a few months back.
With the kids.
With the kids.
Yeah,
I have to say, that was special. I've been to many league League Cup finals, call it what it's called, you know, but I've won it with Oxford. That day I was in Liverpool end with my grandson, and Liverpool fans, unbelievable. That was pretty amazing if you looked at Liverpool fans and the kids coming on, and the way it just opened up, and with the way we won it was so special, and it's a major. Look, there's 3 majors. There's a league, the FA Cup, and there's League Cup, whatever it's called. The 3 majors, whatever you call it. One lesser one, it doesn't matter. But we won it, and it's still a major trophy.
I can tell you not in your eyes, it's emotional, isn't it? He reflected on it.
Absolutely, he was, you know, so proud, you know, and you could see, you know, on Jürgen's face, these young kids done themselves, and the club's so proud, and the academy, and Alex, so proud of what they did. And look, Jürgen's going to leave now, and he might have wanted to do last year, but he couldn't have left last year with the squad that he had under his belt. He's leaving now with a very healthy squad for the next manager slot to take over. Youthful, you know, and some experienced players.
It's a lot, legend. So that's enough from us from the commentary box. For now, the legend will be back with us for full live match commentary in just over an hour's time. After this break, we'll be back with the one and only Mr. Mark Benstead, Kirby Phil Thompson, Ray Houghton, who supplied a lot of goals for this legend here in Ireland as well. I'm sure they'll be reminiscing on Jürgen Klopp as well. Don't you go anywhere. We're back after this break.
Amazing scenes at the end.
Yeah.
No, I saw nothing.
Usually I have a second one, but until now I couldn't find it because it's really difficult looking for glasses without glasses.
If you like, I could teach you a few Scouse phrases that might come in useful.
Me head's chocker. Gora cop on.
Brilliant.
Brilliant!
Yeah.
Is that brilliant? Giving it business. Boss car. Yes, I heard about it. That's boss.
And being in the Europa League, it's almost like a booby prize.
A what?
A booby prize.
What's that? Booby.
Someone comes who really knows what he's doing.
We're going to play against Paris tomorrow.
It's a very erotic voice, by the way, the translator. Congratulations. Wow. Again, please.
What a story! Adrian! Like Rocky!
You like it? Yeah. I cannot stop. It's the first time that kids are not excited when I'm around. The hype is over. Well, let's make a test. Wow, Jürgen Klopp is around. No reaction?
Okay. Shocked, frightened, happy. In a minute.
Well, the best word I can say, but will describe this was boom.
The beginning of the end is upon us. Another chapter in the epic story of Liverpool Football Club is about to draw to a conclusion. Exactly how Jürgen Klopp will sign off, though, well, that bit is still to be written. One thing is almost certain, however, it is going to be emotional. We will be celebrating the Jürgen Klopp era throughout the afternoon. In between all that, though, there's a game going on, and it's a familiar final day foe. Wolves are the visitors to Anfield for this 4 o'clock kickoff. Welcome back along to Matchday Live. I am pitchside in front of the Kop, and I have been joined by Phil Thompson, Ray Houghton, who've made their way into the stadium today. Plenty to come from the boys over the course of the next hour in the build-up to this game. Right now, though, we should get the details of both starting 11s from our man, Peter McDowell.
Thank you, Mark. As difficult as this day will be for everybody, it's been easy to forget that Jürgen Klopp still had to pick a team for this one today, and just short of 1,000 games as manager, just short of 500 games as manager of Liverpool. He's probably had a fairly straightforward choice in truth, and that is to name an unchanged team from last time out. Let's take a look at that team then in full. Easy to remember that he's also given 90 debuts in that time as well. There's no debuts here for them today, although Diogo Jota is amongst the subs. Thiago doesn't make it. There was a little bit of talk during the week that he might appear, and also Mo Salah making his 250th Premier League appearance for Liverpool as well today. Liverpool have met Wolves on the last day 7 times, won all 7 of them. This is the team then. So Alisson in goal, just 9 clean sheets. It's the lowest tally in 20 years. It would be a nice parting gift for Jürgen Klopp for them to get one of those today. Endo, Virgil van Dijk, who got his first Premier League goal for Liverpool against Wolves. Diaz, McAllister, Salah, as mentioned there, with this huge number of games now in the Premier League. 25 goals, 18 of them in the Premier League. 155 goals he's got for Liverpool in that time. Curtis Jones, who made his first game under Jürgen Klopp, his first appearance against them back in 2019 amongst the substitutes for them today as well. Gakpo gets the nod up front. And also a big day for Harvey Elliott. He got the FA Cup replay winner against Wolves in January. Fond memories of Wolves. He became the Premier League's youngest player, just turned 16 back in 2019. And then a familiar look. Kwanzaa gets the nod again. Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold obviously do as well. So Jota amongst those substitutes. 131 appearances he made for Wolves and 44 goals. It's a team that is short just of 400 Anfield games, 400 goals rather in Anfield games under Jürgen Klopp as well. They haven't won here since 2010, Wolves, and of the last 30 games they've played against Liverpool, they've lost 25 of them.
Thank you, Pete. Yeah, details of the Liverpool side. We'll get the run-through of the Wolves team a little bit later in the programme. Yeah, it's so easy to forget that there is a game to be played today, but unfortunately there is one to be dealt with, even though it has no material impact on where we finish come the end of the season. But there is a job to be done, right? And sometimes these things can be a distraction. We saw last day of the Kop famously, couldn't get the performance. Stevie G's last game here, couldn't get the performance. Today that needs to be different.
Yeah, we've seen it many times at different clubs as well, when sometimes we see managers leave and all the emphasis is on about the manager. You forget about actually what fans have come to see as well, which is 11v11 on the pitch. I think the players will go out there and be very professional. We've just seen the line-up there. What the manager would have done to have that 20-man squad fit throughout the season, because you look at the bench there, I tell you what's really, really strong, and it must have been a very difficult choice for Jürgen to start the 11 that he has, because there were certain players who would have liked to have given an opportunity to, but he can't. He just wants to pick the team that he thinks is going to be the best one to get the victory today. Against the Wolves side, who Liverpool have done well against. You know, we were here 2 years ago when they beat them, and then it was a game Liverpool needed to win the last game of the season to put pressure on Man City, who were playing Aston Villa. So they did the job that day. Hopefully they'll do it today. The emphasis will be on Jürgen without a shadow of doubt. But hopefully the supporters in the stadium will also be thinking about the players on the pitch, and they'll go out there and try and get the win to send Jürgen off with that victory that he'll really want as well.
We don't want a testimonial game out there. You know, that's what Jürgen will want the boys to compete. He wants to make sure that it's a passionate game. To echo what he has brought us over these nearly 9 years that he's had, because it has been high energy, it has been commitment in all the games. So I think that's what he would like to sort of sign off with. So it's important that we have the right frame. Yeah, these fans have come to say thank you to Jürgen, but they want to see a football match. They want to see Liverpool win, which has been the case since his very first game at Tottenham.
And also, from an individual point of view, there are players out there who maybe want to show what they can do for the manager coming in. There's maybe players who want to get more goals before the end of the season. Alisson may want a clean sheet to sign off. There's all these kind of personal things that go in terms of the life of a professional football, beyond the manager and beyond the team perspective as well.
I disagree with the first part. I don't think anyone's trying to impress the new manager coming in. That'll happen over the course of pre-season when the manager comes in and sees them on a daily basis. But if you're on professional pride, you want to go out there and finish the season as well as you can. You want to go out there and put on a bit of a show. Listen, this stadium's going to be absolutely rocking for the right reasons, because the manager, this is his last game at the club. But these players have shown consistently in the years that they've been here as players that they've played at a really high level. Why would they not want to do it today? Of course they won't. They'll want to go out there and put on a show today. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great game of football. I think it'll be open, as it has been with Liverpool, a lot of games that they've played. And you said about the number of clean sheets, there's not been enough of them. They've come back in games when they've conceded the first goal, but they've had the wherewithal to do that, and I expect them to do that again today. I think there'll be lots of goals, and I expect Liverpool to get them. And players like Salah, who loves scoring goals, he'll be determined today in Jürgen's last game to get on the score sheet.
We all hoped that this game would maybe still have us in the title race. Unfortunately, if we look at the top of the Premier League table, that isn't the case. It is only Man City and Arsenal who can still walk away with the trophy after full time today. But our position will not change depending on what the result is today. We will finish third regardless. How do you reflect on where we are going to finish and maybe the opportunity that was there for us?
Well, it was wonderful, wasn't it? Until about 4 weeks ago, in the cup game against Manchester United, the wheels come off as such, because we were going for four trophies. But you have to think about it. So 4 weeks ago, we were pushing and we had played some exhilarating football, and the lads had given everything. And because of some of the sort of young lads that we had to bring in, told you the fact that our injuries were impacting on us. But that game against Manchester United, I think, derailed us in an emotional way, in a physical way. Extra time, losing the goals late on. The 4 trophies had gone. Players, we couldn't score, and it was highlighted that we didn't score enough goals and having the chances. So all these doubts set in. But you can't get away from what this season's been about. This has given us the greatest possible send-off for Jürgen, and I seriously mean that. I know we've only had the 1 trophy to show for it, but who thought that we would be in this position at the start of the season, when the midfield had been decimated and we had to change it? Who were these players coming in? What were they going to be like? How were they going to settle? That is your engine room, Jürgen's engine room, and it all got changed. So we've been on a great trip. We've been on a great journey, and we should be thankful. We're in a position. We've got Champions League football all secured very, very easily and quickly.
Yeah, it's testament to Jürgen that, as Phil says, we got anywhere near any of those things, given all the change in the summer. And also the fact, it's worth reiterating, this wasn't the first time we got to sort of March, April time fighting on 4 fronts. We did it a couple of years ago. Well, that's incredible to have that ability to push a team to eke out every last bit available from it.
Don't forget the changes that he made. There was a lot of experienced players who left the club. Henderson, Milner, Fabinho left. He had to change the dynamic of midfield. He brought in McAllister, Szoboszlai, Endo. Gave some of the youngsters more game time, like Harvey Elliott, although Harvey would like to have played more games this season, came on as a substitute and came on to really good effect and affected the game. But if you'd have said before a ball was kicked at the start of the season, you said to Liverpool fans and Jürgen Klopp, you're going to be in the top 4 comfortably enough and you're going to win a trophy, you'd probably say that's not a bad season, that's not a bad return from where we've been. It's only the fact that we were so close to doing even better than that, because as Phil quite rightly pointed out, I think the big change is when we lost to Man United in the FA Cup. I think if we would have won that game, the confidence, the belief would have even grown even more going into the upcoming fixtures against Atalanta, the semi-final against Coventry. There've been so much more to play for, but that derailed us somewhat. And now we've come to this last game of the season where there isn't anything on it as such. You just said we can't go any higher in the league. That's the position we're going to be in. But it's still, if you reflect on the season as a whole, it's been a really good season.
I think how this place would be, Mark, if we were still going for the league title, it was a 3-horse race. How it is today, how it was. I was here at Anfield yesterday, and there was thousands upon thousands of people milling around this ground in anticipation. I think they all thought that this was going to be a league title decider today. But it doesn't matter now, it's Jürgen's last game. So they're all still rejoicing in the fact, well, we've got Champions League football, we've excelled this season, and I think we've all loved this fantastic season that Jürgen and the boys have given us.
Yeah, it has been trophies, but also much more than just
Absolutely.
the trophies as well. Okay, well, Becky is still out and about, speaking to fans around the stadium. Let's head outside now and hear if they are ready to give the boss the send-off that he so richly deserves. Becky.
Yeah, here we are just by the Paisley statue with Chloe Bloxham from Redmen TV, who's just told me she's got tissues stashed all over her body because she is gonna cry today. And listen, we've been here for emotional nights before at Anfield, but this is a feeling quite unique and probably like no other we've ever had. Certainly you've ever had at your age.
No, and the only thing I can try and liken it to is the shock and the sadness when everyone found out Bill Shankly was leaving the football club. Jürgen Klopp is the Bill Shankly of my generation, and I can imagine that this is what it feels like when they found out he was leaving the club. It's going to be an emotional day. It's been an emotional weekend, and to be honest, I can't wait to get in there and just basically give him the best thanks that I possibly can.
I think it is impossible to put into words, isn't it? Just how much he means to you guys as supporters. It's been the perfect marriage almost, right from the start.
Yeah, and it's the fact that he's not had to change himself. This is just who he is. He is one of us. All his values, his morals, they line within everyone within the city. He is a Scouser deep down, and what he's done for this football club, the trophies he's brought back, the way he's put us back on our perch, but most of all, the way he's done it in the correct way. We've not had to cheat our way to the top, and he's just been himself. He's been passionate. He's wore his heart on his sleeve, and that's all we could ask for. Someone to come in and buy into the fans and let us buy into him, and he did just that. And it's going to be really sad to see him go, but I wish him all the best for the future.
Oh God, I think we all echo that. I mean, just in terms of, I don't know whether it's too hard to push you for a favourite moment. I know you've been here for so many of them, and the aways as well in the finals.
Yeah, there is many moments. It's hard to say that the things that he does off the pitch is just as important to me as what he does on the pitch. The way he stands up for communities, the way he's, you know, as a female in football, he's made me believe like I belong here. Meeting him and him saying that he knows who I am, he's just so humble and welcoming. On the pitch, Barcelona was such an incredible night to be there for. I absolutely adore the Champions League. To me, that is the biggest trophy in club football, and he won us it the 6th time. So yeah, everything he's done has been unbelievable. The highs and the lows. There's no other person we'd rather do this journey with.
I think you've touched on it there and put the nail on the head, is that we're going to miss him so much, not just as a manager but a person as well, and he is the most incredible human being.
Yeah, he is, and that is the thing. It's the fact that you're not going to have his character there on the touchline. You're not going to have him in those press conferences. You're not going to have him standing up for the city. There was a reason he was given the key to the city, and it's because he just is one of us. He feels like he understands us. And yeah, that is very important. Liverpool is so unique as a football club. We feel our managers are the most important at the football club. We buy into them, and he's gave us a reason to buy into him. He's turned us from doubters to believers. He's delivered the success, and along the way he's stayed humble, and he's basically been like your dad the way through it.
A very cool dad, I think. I mean, he's also asked the fans in the past to ease off singing his song. I think his song's going to get a fair few renditions this afternoon.
Yeah, he doesn't like occasions to be about him, but
he's got no choice today.
No, he doesn't, and I don't think he'll moan about it in the end. Yeah, his song will be bouncing around Anfield, and I'm hoping it'll be bouncing around Anfield for 90 minutes. And then after full time, I think that's when everyone is allowed to break down, to have a little cry, and make sure that he remembers just how important he is to us. I also can't wait for him to hear You'll Never Walk Alone when we sing that to him. That entire stadium will be singing that to him today.
Oh, it's going to be an incredibly special moment. She just told me she wore no mascara specifically today because she knows she's going to cry so much. Thank you so much, Chloe. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Becky. OK, we're going to pause for a breather. In the break, you'll see a short taster of when Jürgen Klopp and his coaching team got together for a bit of reminiscing about the Reds. Do look out for the full version on the LFC TV socials and YouTube next week. More build-up, though, is on the way. We're back soon.
everything is sad about that game. No? The only thing what I remember is that we were standing in the morning or the day before on the pitch, and we were discussing Divock, no, like, and the guy said, I cannot speak with him. What am I going to say? Because, so we need 3 points, just 3 points to give him to help him, like to.
Only 3 information.
Already, no, but yeah, it was brilliant.
We prepare a game like it's like you prepare a mount. We watch them from all angles, plenty of times, blah blah blah. Especially like in a game like that. And now you want to just give the right information in a really short period of time, because and then we were really discussing, come on, what do we tell Div, what he has to do, and from what point on do we let him just fly?
Yeah, that was the most.
So that was it. So because you give tactical instructions, that's really important, but if you give too many, the player doesn't have an iPad on the pitch and think, oh, he said that as well. Oh, I forgot that. It must be on point. So that's coaching. And we really discussed it exactly that morning. It was like,
yeah, but it was cool because Barcelona the year before they lost in Rome after winning the first round, and then Edin Dzeko was a good role model for Divock that day because he scored the first one. Not sure the last goal as well. So we just told him, here, listen, this is what happened. This is what he did. Try this again, and would be helpful to score a goal pretty early in the game. And yeah,
I really believe that if that didn't happen, we were not sitting now here. That was such a massive one, I think, reaching the final.
But you don't feel that you feel it's massive, but not what it means for the future, obviously.
No. I mean, it was such winning the Champions League at that moment with that team, that the team got after the year before losing it, and
I mean, we had these kind of stories is now the whole way here. Losing the Champions League final next year, not becoming champion in '97, but qualifying for the final again, going there, winning that, and becoming champion after not becoming champion the year before with the Vinny Kompany goal. I think, yeah, that was that year. That can knock you down. It's possible.
I think that's the only time I threw something at the television. That's the only time I lost my.
I was lying like this on a sofa, like this, and my hand in a pocket, like.
I threw. I remember.
Liverpool must bounce back quickly from the international break and maintain what has been a quite excellent start to the new Premier League season, which has caught more than a few people by surprise. Pedro Neto, that's really good. And it's going to come all the way through, and it's in. Liverpool caught cold by Hwang Hee-chan towards Mateus Cunha, who somehow doesn't score. This is Salah, and that's a chance, and that's a Liverpool goal. Here's Andrew Robertson, and now Mohamed Salah. Robertson's continued his run, and Robertson's there and scores! Elliott wants it, Elliott has it, and Elliott scores, and Elliott finishes it.
3-1 then back in September for the reverse fixture of today's Anfield encounter with Wolves. It's the final game of the Premier League season, and sadly the final time that Jürgen Klopp will sit in the dugout here as Reds boss. This is the 11 who hopes to send him off with a fist bump or two come the end of the game. It is Alisson Becker in goal, back four of Trent Alexander-Arnold, Jarell Quansah, Virgil van Dijk and Andy Robertson returning at left back. In midfield it's Wataru Endo, Alexis McAllister and Harvey Elliott. Mo Salah, Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz will be the front three. This is going to be Jürgen Klopp's 491st competitive match for Liverpool. So you have to also remember that means almost 1,000 pre-match and post-match press conferences. There'll be an endless number of things the boss will miss. I'm not sure if his dealings with the media will be one of them.
This is a massive challenge now to sit here and pretend that I have no clue how the team meeting will be. So I think the documentary guys are in, right? I'm not sure, but probably they asked me to go, that if they can have the last meeting, team meeting, which nobody ever had. And I said no, because I have no idea how that will be. Maybe Virgil is doing it. So when somebody has to do it who is really on fire, can I be on fire? Probably yes. I think so, but I don't know in the moment. But it will be really strange. And now we talk about a Wolves game. Yes, I want us to play top football. The people come for that. But we need an atmosphere for that. Like during the game would be cool if that would be not a goodbye atmosphere, but really football atmosphere, that would be cool. It's a strong opponent. They played a sensational season. They were the most unlucky team I ever saw with the VR decisions. They were crazy against Wolves. Wow. We had a few strange ones, but they are the champions of that. Unbelievable. Now recently results not exactly maybe what they would expect, and especially with the football they played before. But they will be strong. They want to finish on a high. So we have to be strong. We will prepare as good and as normal as possible. But this time, I think I was never the part to disturb the good game. But probably in this moment, I am the one. Because I'm really sorry for that. I would love not to be that. But standing there and pretending that's a completely normal game, nobody would believe me that if I tell that. So it's a challenge for different reasons this time. And I hope we all together can just put a really good performance on the pitch. I think we all would deserve that, and it's much easier to celebrate afterwards if you saw a good game before. But I cannot guarantee that now, but I will try as hard as I can.
A lot of the fans talk about the journey and the emotional journey they've had rather than maybe the trophies and the results. I was wondering what you're going to take away from the experience that you've had outside of the results.
I know, same. Look, it's nearly a decade in my life. And super influential in so many ways. I spoke before about how hard it will be to say goodbye. I love absolutely everything about this place. I do. And I take memories with me, fantastic memories. I take friendships with me, relationships with me, forever. Look, I think and you realize that the older you get, when time slips through your fingers, that's the worst. You only realize that later on. You look back and think, my God, that was quick. I don't think it was quick, the 9 years. It's not that I feel it as if I would have arrived yesterday. I really think it was the absolute opposite of waste of time. We used absolutely everything and tried to make the best out of everything, tried to enjoy it as much as somehow possible. And a decade in your life is a massive one, and I will not forget, I'm not going to say a minute, but I will not forget a day in that time, because I met the best people I ever met. And I did it for the best club I could have imagined. So that's just how it is in a wonderful, very, very, very special city, very special. Nothing is perfect nowadays, but the majority of the people in the city are, for me, as close as possible, because of the way they are, the way they deal with life, the way they welcome you, the way they treat you. And I don't mean me. I mean all the people I know when they arrive in the city. What they tell me describes people in Liverpool. And that's wonderful to know. I'm completely in peace. It's wonderful to know that I spent a big time of my life here. And I said before, I got the key of the city, and I know that's probably for a lot of people rather funny. Oh my God. For me, it feels like responsibility. So I don't think, and I don't imagine that the club will need my help in the future. But if the city needs me, I'm there. That's how it is. So I wanna be helpful in whatever way, and we will see how that looks.
Jürgen Klopp's final pre-match press conference done. the team making their way out for his final match in the Liverpool dugout. The sun is shining here at Anfield. The scene is set as well. He spoke there, Ray, in his press conference about the emotional ties and the relationships that he built during his time at the club. I think that's what stands out more than else. A lot of managers, or quite a lot of managers, can have success at clubs, but they don't all have that same connection that Jürgen's been able to foster. It's been quite unique.
Listen, he connects with everyone. It's not just his coaching staff. He connects with the people of Liverpool, the Liverpool supporters, what they've wanted from day one, which is to see a club that they're extremely proud of. A club that's competitive, a club that's winning football matches, a club that puts a smile on your face. And he's been true to his word and what he's done here for the 9 years. And the reception he got as he just came out there was quite magnanimous. It was absolutely brilliant. And he just looked like, yeah, I'm sad I'm going, but maybe it's my time. That's what sort of the feeling I got from him. He's had 9 unbelievable seasons. You know what he's turned this club into, that winning formula that he's had. But don't forget, it's not just Jürgen Klopp that's leaving this club. There's so many behind the scenes, people who he's sat in meetings with, and Phil would know better than I, hours on end, day after day, discussing teams, discussing formations, who's training well, who's not, who should we bring in, who we should let go. Absolutely huge decisions that you make, but you need a group around you that you believe in, that you trust, and that's what he's had for all the time that he's been here.
The entire coaching staff pretty much moving on after this game. You know, that's the thing, isn't it? In management these days in particular, most people don't get to choose the moment of their departure. They get told. He's chosen, this is the right time for him. He walks out with his head held high, with leave the crowd wanting more, and that's what he's doing.
It is. This is a guy who, you know, you see most of the times, I've been there with Gerard Houllier, and, you know, it gets to a certain point for most managers. You move on because it's not gone right, so they have a change of manager. You come in, the team's not doing well. The team was all right when he came in, but what he's done, I mean, the sort of nearly 9 years of what he's been with us, he has been quite exceptional. The football that he's gave us, the wonderful moments, but it's the man we will miss more than anything. His character, his charisma, how he portrays himself, how he gets us in a massive way. And if you get us, we get you. That's where the magic happens. And with Jürgen Klopp, he has brought so much energy, so much passion to our football club. He has related to us more than we could ever dream of in a manager since Bill Shankly. And Shanks didn't have that great honour. You know, he sort of went in June. But this guy, it's been a long time, and it's been a nice send-off. But you see him walking around here. He'll have walked out here and he'll have gone, this is my last time, I'm going to do this warm-up. So everything that he does, this is my last time.
Taking it all in as he wanders round. It's interesting, we saw his last press conference there, and his first press conference he said it's not so important what people think of you when you come in, it's much more important what people think of you when you leave. And boy, does that really hit home now with the way he's been elevated, but also the way that he has elevated this football club back to where it once was.
Yeah, well, normally, as Phil just said there, Mark, when you're leaving the club, it's when the club's on its way down, and the fans are not on side with you because the football's not been good, you're not going in the right direction. That's completely the opposite with what Jürgen's done. He's got the team playing exceptional football, they're a joy to watch. Whoever's going to be taking, we know Arne Slot's coming in, but look what he's taking over, a team that will be playing in the Champions League next season. That's unusual in itself. You know, so there's a huge positive coming in. But you know what I love about him? His professionalism. For 9 years he's done the same things. He walked onto the pitch. He's done nothing different today. That's what he's done game after game after game. Comes out, watches the warm-up, watches the opposition, goes about it exactly the same time and time again. So there's no difference today. Last game or not, he's going to be the same fella from game 1 to the 491. He's the same person, same individual, the same priorities in his life, which is being a top manager, getting the best out of the players, making them better, making players better, which is very difficult.
You see the emotional side, Becky interviewing that young girl, her emotion coming out of her, how he feels about Jürgen, how he's made her life better, how he's made his football club. And we look at this football club here today, and It has been incredible what the journey that he's been on. He has brought in even bigger revenue because of his personality. You see people from all over the world wanting to be at this game because of what Jürgen, the brand of football, he's excelled. There's been more revenue coming into this with the owners. The Anfield Road stand, you've seen the main stand, all in his tenure. The best training complex in the Premier League. All this under Jürgen's tenure. What a time he has given us. And we've seen our club grow, not just on that football pitch, but off it as well.
When you look at the figures involved since he came in as well, City have won twice as many trophies pretty much, but they spent twice as much. Man United and Chelsea have spent £1 billion in comparison to a third of that from Liverpool's point of view. He's been able to eke every last little bit of all the resources at his disposal and help do that so things like this can get built, like a training ground can get built as well.
That's the art of good management. It isn't always about going out and signing players for £100 million. That doesn't always bring you success. But what you have is you've got to have a pathway from your academy. You've got to trust your academy and the players that are coming through and give them the opportunity. And that's certainly the case with Jürgen. You look at the players that are now in the Liverpool squad, the youngsters, local lads have got opportunities. It's been sensational. And they know at the age of 8, 9, if you came to the club, there's a chance that you're going to make the first team. That doesn't happen at every club. It's happened here because of the leader. The leader is Jürgen Klopp. Alex has done his job at the youth level. He's promoted the youngsters, gave them the platform to play from. But it comes from the top. And that's what Jürgen's done, passed down through all the different coaches at the club. But it's all about, look around this stadium and look at all the fans. They're here for one reason, for a man who's changed their thoughts of how Liverpool play. That empathy he's had with them, the joy of being a Liverpool fan again, winning trophy, bringing back the winning mentality.
It certainly has. OK, well, the atmosphere in and around Anfield has been pretty special all day. The Red support primed and ready to salute Jürgen Klopp on his final Liverpool game. But let's get some more now from Becky, who's been in and amongst the supporters all day outside the ground. And right now, she's with one very special fan indeed.
It is a pleasure to have you back at Anfield. Such a special day and a really emotional day as well for everyone here. I'm sure you as well. I imagine you, like the rest of us, don't want to say goodbye to the boss.
No, I don't want to say goodbye. He'll be missed forever, you know. It's going to be an emotional day for all Liverpool supporters and for me as well.
You were obviously fortunate enough to spend some time with him, and just tell us how that touched you and how special a moment that was, because not many people get to meet Jürgen Klopp like you have.
No, not many people. No, it's probably one of the best moment of my life, and will be the best moment of my life. And he's turned my life upside down for all the good reasons. Like, he's given me the confidence I never thought that I would ever get, and he has completely turned my life around.
You are a superstar. Everyone's been asking for your photos and everything here, but I mean, when you say that, it's obviously so often that people speak about him as Jürgen Klopp, the football manager, but you speak about Jürgen Klopp, the man, and just how much he has changed your life.
Yeah, he's just, as I said many times, he's just a normal person. Never mind a football manager, he's just a normal person, and he has definitely changed my life, and I'll never be able to thank him enough for that.
I'm going to bring your dad in, Kenny, here, because it's emotional, I'm sure, you hearing your son talk about what the boss has done for him, and as a family, you know, he's given you memories that will last a lifetime.
Absolutely. He's given us memories, he's given Dara, like he said, confidence like never before. What he's done, he'll say that he's just normal, but for us he's more than normal. What he's done for Dara and our family, it'll never be matched, or it'll never be repeated, or I don't think anybody will ever do it again. So yeah, emotional day is definitely a word you could use. Yeah,
I think there's going to be quite a few tears inside Anfield. You guys might well be amongst it, I think.
I don't think we'll be the only ones. No. we will be there, we will be one of them, but not all. No.
What about yourself, Sarah? A few tears today, maybe?
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, as Dad said, we'll not be the only ones in the ground, but we'll definitely be there and be one of them.
Well, listen, the boss is going to watch this, so if you're able to just look down the camera and give him a message, what would you like to say to Jürgen Klopp?
I'd like to say thank you for everything that you've done for me, and how you've changed my life, and how you've given me confidence, and to wish you the best of luck in the future, and wish you all the happiness and success that can come your way. You'll never walk alone.
You are a superstar. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Enjoy the game.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Back to you guys.
Wow, that in a nutshell is the power of Jürgen Klopp. Well, with the Jürgen Klopp farewell party, it's easy to forget there's actually a Premier League football match to be played here today. In case you didn't know, it's Wolves who we are facing this afternoon. Their boss, Gary O'Neill, is someone Klopp knows well, after he spent 6 months on Merseyside coaching the Reds under-23 side nearly 4 years ago.
He's, iconic figure, isn't he, in Liverpool, what he's done for the football club, and results, of course, but also then like the unity and the feel of the place and the momentum, and Anfield on Champions League nights. I've been fortunate enough to go to a couple. What he's created there is really, really special, and one of the best Premier League managers to ever, really. I think he'll be up there with some of the greats with the job that he's done. So it's good to be a part of a game like that as well for us, last game of the season. But as much as I want Jürgen to have a nice send-off with his fans, there is still a chance that we can finish in the top 10 mathematically. And if you'd have said that to me at the start of the season, you can win the last game and potentially finish in the top 10, I'd have definitely signed up for it. So we go there with that as our real focus. Of course, we'll be respectful to the occasion and Jürgen and what it is, but we're desperate to win another game. We've worked very hard this season to keep ourselves in a spot where we still have an opportunity come the last day to finish in the top 10.
The thoughts of the Wolves boss there as the Jürgen Klopp song rings around Anfield. Probably not for the first time today. I think I'm going to throw that out there. And let's show you how Wolves line up for this final Premier League encounter. They've made a couple of changes from their last outing, the defeats to Crystal Palace. Santiago Bueno comes in at centre-half. Nelson Semedo pushes out to right wing-back. Jean-Richter Bellegarde also comes in to that midfield trio as well. Wolves, I think it's fair to say, Ray, have been perhaps the unluckiest team this season. Quite a few VAR decisions have not gone their way, to put it bluntly.
Yeah, I'd get rid of it personally. I know there's going to be a meeting fairly soon with the Premier League clubs to make a decision on it. I just think it sucked the joy out of playing, to be honest, and scoring goals. You're waiting, anticipating, is it going to be given or not? And it seems clubs like Wolves, it's been very harsh on them when it comes to the decisions against them. Gary's done a brilliant job, but it sounds like they come here with bit part players. That isn't the case. Gary O'Neill will have his players really wound up for this game. He'll want to finish on a high. He'll want to get 3 points from today's match, so they'll go out there and be as competitive as they can be. But when you look at the Liverpool team in comparison to the Wolves team, Liverpool should win. The players are there. It's all about making sure you've got the right attitude. But Gary O'Neill and the job he's done at Wolves, very, very good.
It's been unbelievable for what he's done to go in there, because a lot of people that go, will he stay there, will he look for a sexier name to come in? He has done unbelievable, and he's quite right to have a go at VAR. I'm just saying to Ray, years ago, before VAR, people moaned that all the big clubs got all the decisions, and they were quite right. We did get all the decisions. It's not changed. With VAR, somehow, some way, they can look to change it. You go back to the very first game of the season at Manchester United. Oh my goodness. We feel hard done by about the decisions which have gone against us. For the likes of Wolves to stay in the Premier League, so for what Gary O'Neill has done, has been nothing short of magical.
If I let you carry on talking about VAR, we'll still be going, and Jürgen will be on his holidays by then, so I'm going to stop. OK, now through the course of the show, Becky has been out and about speaking to the fans. She's even popped out to the Olympia earlier to catch a bit of Jamie's set there. And now she is up in the main stand speaking to the greatest ever, Sir Kenny.
Yeah, thank you. You join us here in the boardroom at Anfield, and I think there can be nobody more fitting to give their thoughts on the end of another incredible chapter in Liverpool Football Club than Sir Kenny Dalglish. Kenny, how do we even begin to sum up the Jürgen Klopp era? It's been the most incredible journey.
I think it will be very difficult for a lot of people today. I think it's they want to celebrate what he's done for the football club over the last 9 years, and I don't think what he's done can be underestimated in any way. Since he's walked in the door, first day, he's been fantastic. Everybody understands it, the fans understands what they are, what they're all about, understands that they're hugely important. he has fantastic respect for the people working in and around Melwood, the training ground, Daxa now. So it's been unbelievable the way he's adopted the city and how the city have adopted him. And I think it speaks volumes for the man as a person. And we've also enjoyed the fact that he's a fantastic football manager as well. And you'll be pleased, you want to celebrate what's happened over the 9 years. Sad to see him go.
Yes, it's a real mixture of emotions today, isn't it? But I think what you said there is very telling, that you spoke about Jürgen Klopp, the man, before you spoke about Jürgen Klopp, the manager, and he is just unrivaled in that sense. Such a people person, and the relationship he has with this fan base, second to none.
Yeah, and that's what the foundation of Liverpool Football Club has been. Shanks was the one that really started the club moving, and you see the relationship that he had with everybody. And I think it wavered a little bit until Jürgen came back in. There was a spell there where it wasn't great, but when Jürgen came in, it was reborn. I think it must be related to Shanks in some way.
Maybe, you never know. I feel it's almost churlish to ask you for a favourite moment. It's probably not possible to pick one, but when you think of all the European nights we've had here at Anfield, of course winning the Premier League as well, even recently the youngsters battling for the boss at Wembley, I mean, does anything stand out for you in particular?
What stands out for me was when we won the first league title, when we won the Premiership, and the presentation being done in the Kop with nobody here. It was sad that there was nobody here, but by the way, it was a fantastic achievement to win the Premier League. And that's what, yeah, you can't underestimate anybody winning a trophy, and you can't underestimate any trophy that you win. If you do, then they're only jealous. But when we won the league title, I think that's what most of the people had in their tick list. And he went past it. He won the European Cups, won the World Club Championship. It's been fantastic, him being here, and the spell that's been, and the smiles and happiness that people have in their faces. And coming to the stadium now, when you see how it's moved forward under Jürgen and FSG, and also the training ground. Even if there's no game on, you should be proud of what we've got here.
He is a very humble man, of course, everybody knows that. I don't think he really likes the attention being on himself, but I think today he has no choice. I mean, you're probably in a better position than most to maybe have an inkling into what kind of emotions he will be feeling right now, and how he will sort of walk around and soak in the atmosphere on the final day working at the club.
No, I think the people here understand, right, why he made the decision. It's for himself. He's run himself down a little bit. He's been tired. He's not leaving because of anything that's happened here with supporters or whatever. He's leaving here because mentally and physically he can't do the job properly, how he would like to do it. He can't do all the work that he's due, that comes with his job. And he's been more than fair to the football club by saying, I can't do this properly. Right, if I want to be here, I don't want to be insulting to yourself. I want to be here and do my job to 100% that I'm supposed to do it. See, and I don't feel I can do that. It's sad, but it's brilliant that he's been able to identify that, and it's brilliant that he can go away and spend a bit of time with the family.
It's the most incredible legacy.
And the grandparent, being a grandparent now, then. But I would think once he's changed a couple of nappies, he might have a wee inkling to come back.
I think his grandson's just down the corner there, actually. But thank you so much for your time. An absolute pleasure. Thank you.
No problem. All the best, Becky. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Becky. Well, we can hear from one of Jürgen Klopp's most important signings now. Alisson Becker admits it'll be sad to see the boss leave come the end of the season. The keeper has also been reflecting on his personal milestone of reaching 200 Premier League appearances at Villa last Monday.
First off, 200 Premier League appearances recently for you. You must be proud of that achievement.
Yeah, really proud. I think it's a really good number to reach out. It's been such a good ride here at LFC. I feel proud about that. playing 200 games on the Premier League, one of the best leagues in the world. Having this opportunity is a huge honor for me, and I'm thankful for that the club gave me this opportunity.
And there's obviously a huge incentive to try and finish on a high now with Wolves on Sunday.
Yeah, of course, we are focused on that. It's a different situation. Like, I think since I'm here, at the last game we always had something to fight for, maybe Champions League spot, European competition spot, or trophies. And now it's different, but we play for ourselves. We play for the gaffer to give him a proper farewell. We play for the supporters. We have so many good reasons to do that. We don't, as I said before, my perspective of life, I don't need a trophy to win, to play a good match, to give my all at the game. And this is the case with the other players as well. We're going to give our best to have a win and to have a happy end for everybody who is leaving.
And you mentioned it there about the gaffer. It'll probably be quite an emotional day for everyone at the club at Anfield on Sunday once the full-time whistle goes.
It will be a lot for sure. I tell for myself, these moments for me are not so easy to deal with, to say goodbyes, but everybody will be on that mood, really emotional. And I think you get emotional when you realize how good was this period, how good was the journey. The gaffer gave the opportunity not only for the players to be part of this successful team, but he gave to the supporters as well. He made the supporters feel part of that. I think that's why everybody will be so emotional. Everybody here at this building, at AXA, we will feel his departure and of his staff. But what this man made here, what he creates here, is a legacy. So legacies last longer than trophies. Legacies last longer. He will be eternal. He'll be amongst the eternal managers and eternal figures, eternal people of this club.
Alison Becker there with his thoughts on Jürgen Klopp and joining Klopp at this football club those years ago after moving from Roma. And the time has come for Jürgen almost to manage this team for the final time, making his way off the pitch just now. Worth just pointing out one thing for you ahead of today's game as Jürgen does depart and says his goodbyes. You'll have noticed in the warm-ups a few moments ago that the players for this game were in next season's kit as well. I'll give you a glimpse of that new shirt before we wrap up. Interestingly with Alisson though, he spoke about Jürgen, his decision to bring. It'd be weird for some of these players, won't it? Because a manager departing, for some all they've known, a manager who's so pivotal. You had it with Kenny, you had it with Shanks. It can be strange.
Honestly, it is very weird. My personal experience with Bill Shankly was in the June, and not just from being a player, but being a sort of fan, not knowing what was going to happen the following season, either personally or the club. It was so weird, and that's what we're like now. Everybody asks us, what's it going to be like under Arne Slot? And I don't know. And it's that sort of time of our lives that it is interesting, but with this fan base, anything can happen next season.
Quickly show you that shirt I referred to a moment ago. This is next season's home shirt. This will be worn for the first time today. Modelled on Rome 84. That was the inspiration. Just so you know. It always has to be a theme. It's quite nice, I like the yellow. I'll put that away. That's going in my bag for 7-a-side tomorrow night. In terms of Alisson, how pivotal a signing was he? He was a record fee for a goalkeeper at the time, 200 Premier League appearances now, 80 plus clean sheets. Has he been one of the essential pieces in the Jürgen Klopp jigsaw?
Yes, it's a simple answer to that. He's been instrumental in what Liverpool have been good at. Defensively, maybe not so much this, you said about the lack of clean sheets, but prior to this, he was absolutely exceptional. The biggest compliment I can pay a goalkeeper is, for a lot of the game you're redundant. You're not doing a great deal because normally when you're a big team like Liverpool, you've got a lot of the ball, you're doing a lot of the attacking. But there'll be a moment in the game when you make a huge save, which either wins you a game, gets you a point in the game, which is massive to the club. And that's that man. He's been brilliant time and time again. He's a leader in the box. He commands that position on the field. He's a sweeper keeper. He's everything that you wanted in a goalkeeper. Absolute top quality. But I'll just say before we go on, the noise in the stadium is absolutely electric. There's a hum around it I've not heard before. It's absolutely brilliant. And when they were just singing Jürgen's song there, it was fantastic.
It's about to wrap up our pre-match build-up for those of you watching on social. If you do want to subscribe to LFC TV and LFC TV Go, details of how to do so are online at liverpoolfc.com/watch. We have a host of programmes reflecting on Jürgen Klopp's Anfield era over the coming weeks. They are not to be missed. Still to come today that we have live audio commentary of today's game. It is on the way with Steve and Aldo, who'll guide you through every kick as well as the players' lap of thanks after the full-time whistle. And then the fans get the chance to thank the boss, and we'll bring you all the events live on the Matchday reaction. We'll be live on the LFC socials for all the presentations on the pitch, as well as Jürgen Klopp's Anfield farewell. There will be tears, and that might just be from Phil and Ray. That's our show, of course, one that will be done and available as an LFC podcast later on too. On LFC TV Go, we'll have free highlights available from 8 p.m. Then at midnight, the full match will be shown on LFC TV and will be on demand on Go. And do look out for Inside Anfield landing on the club's official Facebook and YouTube pages on Tuesday with some of the best behind-the-scenes footage of everything that goes on today at a very special day at Anfield. That is us done and dusted, though. After the break, you'll be told all the action, have all the action described to you by Steve and John Aldridge for what will be Jürgen Klopp's final match in charge of Liverpool Football Club. Stay tuned, all that comes next.